Hi, this is Jack, and we're here to talk about a Halloween story of the kidnapping of Franklin Richards and the trial of Agatha Harkness.
Dun dun dun.
184, 185, and 186. We are now on issue 184. To help me with this, we've got my boss,
Hello.
Ryan, my always partner, and he loves it, Shades.
Hello. Little musical greeting there.
184, the title is Aftermath, the Eliminator. It picks up from last issue where Reed had no powers. The Fantastic Four had just gone in that battle with the Brute.
Who made the ultimate sacrifice?
Yes, he did. My question first, we'll start with Ryan. You've not read this and you haven't read the lead-in story. Did you have any problem following it?
Maybe in the beginning, just the first few panels, because they were mentioning what happened before. After that, though, it's fairly its own story. I do want to mention, though, Shades is in much higher spirits for this one.
Oh, yeah. This is good stuff.
We've got a totally new creative team, at least to what we've talked about. The great Len Wein, the amazing George Perez
Awesome.
on the art.
Yes.
Shades is dying to talk about this, so we're going to start with George. What did you think of the art, Shades? And for once, he's going to be happy.
I am extremely happy. Not a big fan of the original Kirby stuff, but this Perez gentleman was so awesome. I mean, just up there. You don't really think of him with John Byrne and John Buscema, but we should, because he was so awesome. And just wonderful art. The splash page, of course, opens up with the aftermath of the previous episode with, as Jack mentioned, the Brute. And it was just so much fun. You see Thundra. That's
Thundra, yes.
Thundar is someone else. There's
Thundar is Hanna-Barbera.
Thank you. Okay, so you got the beautiful Thundra. You have the even more beautiful Tiger. You have Reed Richards. He's recovering from all the trials and tests, and of course he has lost his powers. Ben Grimm is pounding on the negative zone door. Futilely, it ain't gonna happen. Just a lot of wonderful things going on here, but the art is just so excellent.
Ryan, this is your first time seeing George Perez, correct?
Yeah.
What did you think about this artwork?
Yeah, like off the rip, when I had first seen it, I was wondering how far ahead it was. I was told this was like years ahead. That makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, it's like this is much different from any other comic I've ever seen, just in general. There's a lot of detail. Even in Thing with his rockiness, you can tell there's texture and there's like different heights in between each segment on him. With the backgrounds, there's so much more going on, so much more detail. There's a lot going on in these pictures. Each and every one panel has its own, I guess you can say, it has its own feeling. I love the art.
It's my favorite version of Thing. No shot at Kirby or any of the other guys, because I like all of them. Thing's actually a pretty easy character to draw. But George Perez makes him look incredible. You really do see the differences in the plates and the facial expressions. That's the one part with Thing that's a little difficult, is the facial expressions. He has the bar eyebrow, which makes it easier.
Ultimate unibrow.
I believe Perez is my favorite Thing artist. Ryan, your favorite character is Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
What do you think of Perez's Human Torch?
Yeah, we didn't get to see too much of it, but the ones that I did see, especially, I noticed throughout his body, instead of just being all red, he has those little tiny flames around him, like the little yellow flames on his body. And just the fire itself, it looks so clean. The depth and design of his body.
Yeah.
Just all of that stuff. You can see his abs. You can see even his whole suit still. You can see all that. It's very nice. I enjoy the art.
Yeah, me too. It's awesome.
What was your favorite art piece, Shades, in this entire thing?
Well, there's so much here, but as we were skipping through it, there's a great scene here, and it's not just the art, but it's the art and the dialogue, the feeling behind it that is just so awesome. Reed Richards is a tormented soul because he's lost his powers, and his son has been kidnapped, a little thing like that. And you have him here, I guess I'll do my little drama thing by myself. He says, well, whatever I decide to do, Reed Richards says, there's one thing I do know. There is nothing that will stop me from saving my son. So he's got this grim, angry look on his face. He's in the foreground. There's a blue-purple shadowing. But in the background, you see his wife saying, Reed, are you? He says, I'm fine, Sue, just fine. I love that. It's just awesome. They did not have to add that. I always appreciate, they say the devil is in the details. This is a little detail. They didn't have to add that. So I appreciate the lack of laziness. I appreciate the attention to emotions and details. Thank you. It's just awesome. I just love it.
Len Wein did a lot of relationship building here, much like Stan would do. Thang's relationship to Alicia is heightened because he has two really fine chicks in Tigra and Thundra coming after his bod. He is not at all interested. He's interested in Alicia. And the difference is these two can see him. Alicia cannot see him.
I feel like it makes more sense for Tigra because she's also not disformed in her own body, but she's not
different.
Yeah, she's different. She's not the normal human girl.
She could be a great stripper, though, in my opinion. I mean, she's already got the. She's already got.
Well,
the,
Thundra loves him because of his muscle, but you'll find that
his
later.
strength and his
But the point
masculinity,
is that the thing that keeps him from being able to turn back and forth at this era is that he has the doubt that Alicia would love him if she could see him if he was turned the other way.
Block.
Where
block.
he doesn't have that with these two. These two like him the way he looks.
Yes.
For him to
would not like him the way he
I was gonna say,
human.
would it be opposite? Do you think they would like him if he was back human again?
Probably not. No.
I do not. Definitely not Thundra.
It reminds,
Tigra, but
reminds
Thundra.
me of when the Black Cat met Spider-Man. She fell in love with him, but she didn't want to deal with Peter Parker. She had no love for Peter Parker, only Spider-Man.
Only him in costume, yeah.
It's worth it to note as well. One of the other comics we reviewed of the issues, when Reed tries to turn Thing back into a human, he tells him herself, she's like, I don't want you to be, or not want you, but you don't have to go back into a human for me to love you, type of thing.
Ah, yes.
So,
Right. So that
she
kinda
notes to
adds
him,
to
like,
his-
I love you for who you are.
Right.
The other thing we have here, Shades read it with Reed's determination to save his son. Basically, Reed's down in the dumps, and Len Wein handles that well, because you would think he would be. He's a man of action. He's lost this super ability. It's a shock. But Sue gets on him and is like, you know what? If it was just your powers, we could replace you with a rubber band. And Sue does what a wife does. She gets him charged up and going for it.
Without going too much. You can go too much into the drama and you get bored.
Right.
So there's a good balance there, but go
Yeah,
on.
okay, and then you have a comedy scene right after that with Thing and the cleanup. Len Wein knows exactly how to pace this story. And the artwork, of course, is genius with George Perez.
That's the word, I think, pace.
My question is, what do you think about the deepening of this relationship?
Well, they're married now, and they have a kid.
I mean, this particular moment, a lot of wives are
Yeah.
not supportive like that.
Yeah, she's the Adrian to Rocky and Rocky 3. Remember, Adrian finally lets off on Rocky saying there's nothing wrong with being afraid, you have to do this and that. She's actually yelling at Rocky, and Rocky's saying, how'd you get so tough? I'm kind of segueing into a totally different genre here, but still, that's what a good wife has to be. She has to point her beloved into the right direction when she sees him going off.
I love the dialogue with him questioning himself and his abilities, because as much as his powers do for the team, he's mainly smart as he is strong. His real power there is how smart he is and his ability to problem solve and do everything.
Definitely.
So it's not just his powers that make him
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he came up with the plan to defeat the Eliminator.
He did.
It was all Reed's idea, and he got it on the fly when he heard the Eliminator mention, once I kill you, I'm going to destroy Whisper Hill and myself. None of the other three picked up on that. It was Reed who did it. Now, we'll get to Ryan's favorite character, the Human Torch. The Human Torch is having his tumultuous love life here, which you will find out later on as we continue with these. Torchy seems to have the worst luck when it comes to women.
Going back to
And,
this, just briefly, the psychology of Reed Richards. The previous episode, he has just met an evil version of himself.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that is not helping his little breakdown here, if you will.
I think it totally is pushing on his breakdown. I think you're totally right. When it comes to Torch, he flies by instinct by Frankie Ray's house and then refuses to go in before the Eliminator zaps him, as we read in the favorite panel. What did you think about Torch's action here, Ryan? I know you don't know who Frankie Ray is, but put yourself in Johnny's position.
Frankie Ray is a
Do you think
beautiful redhead, I think.
Right, she's a beautiful redhead. But do you think this is a realistic reaction to somebody his age?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like a lot more people would have been reactionary rather than maybe I should just give myself some time, or maybe I should just fall back a little bit. It's a common thing, and it's also, very relatable for someone, especially because he's still at this time.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
So
not as young, but
He's about your age.
yeah.
okay, yeah. So
He's almost college level,
That's right. That's right.
but he has not gone to college.
He's not that. He doesn't need Ben Grimm to babysit him this time
Right.
when they go out. Sorry, folks. We just did episode 18, and that was back in the 60s, and so.
But yeah, this, I guess, conflict with him is very relatable. I enjoyed that part.